What up guys, it's me again. So this past month, I took a small vacation with my wife to Montreal, Canada to celebrate our anniversary. This was our first time visiting Canada, and I have to say, Montreal was an experience for sure. The drive there was scenic, the city was beautiful, and the people were so nice, and there were so many things to do in the city. We also checked out the countryside of Quebec province and did some nature stuff at one of the national parks, which was breathtaking. You gotta check out their parks when visiting Canada, it's a must. Anyways, before visiting Montreal, I had little knowledge of what to expect here. Shout out to my wife for doing all the planning and researching. I didn't expect everything to be French. Literally, the main language here is French. The signs and text were all in French, so forgive me if I'm butchering these French pronunciations. Although I did take French class once in high school, but it's not enough for me to remember how to say these words. The other thing I did not expect before coming here was how big the Cambodian community here is. I was searching for restaurants to eat in Montreal and discovered some Khmer restaurants that were close to our hotel, so I got curious and searched some more. I learned that Quebec has the largest population of Cambodians in Canada of over 16,000. Canada's total Cambodian population is around 38,000. That's almost half of the population in one province. That's pretty cool, but I'm not here to give you a demographic or a history lesson. I found a bunch of Khmer restaurants around Montreal, but due to time constraints, I was only able to visit some of them. So today I'm going to show you 4 Cambodian restaurants in Montreal, Canada. The first place on this list is called Ketiw. They are located on 3866 Wellington St, Verdun, Quebec, Canada. The first thing I noticed when I saw this place was that it wasn't your typical mom and pop looking kind of shop. They were very much nice and modern looking. It was very trendy and the staff was nice. Here we ordered the poulet grill rice plate, which is like a stir-fry chicken grill rice plate with a side of veggies on the side. It was very nicely grilled, and I definitely love the grill flavoring on top of the chicken, as well as the nicely scented rice. The next thing that we ordered was a noodle soup called ketiw Phnom Penh, which is your typical Cambodian noodle soup. The only difference was this noodle wasn't your typical rice noodle that I was used to. It had a little bit of the yellow noodle, I believe, but it was still good nonetheless. Inside this noodle soup, it had a little bit of ground pork, some barbecued pork slices. I added bean sprouts to it, the typical sriracha and hoisin sauce, and I like to squeeze my lime and throw it in the soup to get the full flavor of the lime. Ketiw is open 6 days a week. They're closed on Tuesdays from 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and they accept cash or card. The next place on this list is down the street from Ketiw. It's called the Street Monkeys. They're located on 3625 Wellington St in Verdun, Quebec. This place was very eclectic with very awesome bar drinks. Their food was delicious, but it was in a modern style with inspiration from traditional Cambodian dishes. And you can definitely taste the ingredients in these dishes. Personally, I like small mom and pop shops that you can find anywhere else, but I do appreciate the modern take of these newer restaurants that are popping up and showcasing these Cambodian cuisines at a different level. The first thing we had to try were the drinks. They had a list of great cocktail drinks that we had to pick from. We ordered this drink called the Ta Marang Cambodian, which is called, I guess translated to your Cambodian grandmother, which is rum, coconut milk, and pandan. And the second drink was called the Second Base on the Street, which is Hennessy, tamarind, and red pepper, and some kind of salt on the rim, which is very delicious. The first dish that we ordered was fish amok. This isn't your typical fish amok dish, not without the banana leaves. This just had the fried fish laid out on the plate, covered in the amok sauce. The next dish that we ordered was bone marrow with chicken broth and chak kwai. Now I'm not sure if this is a Cambodian dish or this is just something special to the restaurant. We ordered this dish because we love bone marrow. It was very buttery, tasty, and seasoned very well. Came off the bone nice. We also dipped our chak kwai, which is fried donuts, into the chicken broth, which was delicious. The last thing that we ordered was bahok tea with fresh veggies. Now this looked more traditional that I'm used to. But as I'm told somewhere by someone that everyone makes their bahok tea differently. Sometimes it's more grounded with the meat and different coloring, like red or orange. Sometimes it's more green. It just depends on who you're ordering from. But this one was definitely delicious. It had all the aromas that I'm used to. It did bring back some memories of eating bahokti at my mom's house with veggies and rice. And this is something I could probably eat like a bigger bowl of because I just love bahokti. The Street Monkeys is open 5 days a week. They're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, open from 5:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. And they take cash or card. I also recommend calling for reservations if you want to get a table at this restaurant. The third place on this list took a little while for me to get to because it wasn't close to the center part of the city. It was more in a residential neighborhood. But it's called Sandwicherie, which is located on 7387 Boulevard Saint-Michel, Montreal, Quebec. This place was a cute little family-owned shop in the middle of a residential neighborhood. The staff was very nice and sweet, and they greeted me in French and Khmer, which is very cool. This place looks like it would be a great lunch spot because of their many sandwiches and drink options. Here I ordered the barbecue pork sandwich with thin tower fries and a side of shrimp spring roll with fish sauce. The sandwiches weren't your typical French bread, at least the longer French bread that I'm used to. These were more of a shorter bun kind of thing, like a hamburger bun. I'm not sure what you actually call these, but they were still cool in regards with how they look. I really enjoyed the taste of it. The meat was very juicy. The flavors were very nice and sharp. The tower fries were very interesting sides to add to these, but I still ate them up. The shrimp spring roll you can't really go wrong with spring rolls, and I definitely love dipping these and the fish sauce that they gave me. It was very much how you would expect. One of these days I'm gonna make a spring roll the size of a Chipotle burrito, and no one's gonna stop me, just to let you know. Saks is open 6 days a week. They're closed on Sundays, and they're open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and they accept cash or card. This next place is actually located in a very interesting place. It's inside of a mall called Place Longueuil, which is unique because I've never seen a Khmer restaurant inside of any kind of mall or food court, at least in this part of the world. They're called Angkor Grill. They're located on 825 Rue Saint-Laurent O in Longueuil, Quebec. It's near Montreal. It's kind of like across the river, if you know what I mean. This place didn't have a lot of Khmer dishes that I saw on the menu. They just had a Cambodian style omelet and the ketiw.ca noodle soup, and also the beef sticks platter, which is what I ordered. Everything else on the menu looked like it was more Thai dishes than Cambodian dishes. The workers were also Thai as well, which is still cool. I still appreciate that they included some kind of Cambodian style restaurant inside of a food court mall, because in America I feel like that's unheard of. So, you know, you gotta take the wins, right? So my plate that I ordered was a beef stick rice plate with some pickled veggies on the side. I also ordered some fried bananas that I wanted to try. I'm not a big fan of fried bananas, but you know, why not try it here? The beef sticks weren't as lemongrassy as I liked it to be. It was nicely grilled, it was nice and tender, but it didn't have a lot of lemongrass flavor that I'm used to. But this place is still a cool place to grab a quick lunch or so. I know if I worked at the mall or I was by the mall, I would definitely come here and grab something, just because, you know. Angkor Grill is open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and they take cash or card. So that's all 4 of the restaurants that I tried while here in Montreal. There were a lot more that I found, and I will come back to try them next time I visit. Be sure to check out these places and support them if you can. I will tag their social media in the description below if they have one. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to us, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.